Today, we're going to talk about Kajabi. I'd like to introduce my friend Thomas Kessler. He's a merger and acquisition consultant, and he uses Kajabi for online training courses that he runs. He's been a long-time user of Kajabi, and he's really happy to tell us about its strengths and weaknesses from his perspective, and some other questions around how good the support is, and really what the sort of learning curve is that you're likely to encounter while using it. So, Thomas, welcome. Thank you for joining me.
Hi, Pat. How are you? Yeah, thanks a lot for the opportunity to talk a little bit about the Kajabi tool that I use for my online trainings and also my corporate clients. It's a really interesting tool because if you can see here on the left-hand side, it gives you a lot of capabilities. First of all, this is kind of my dashboard, and you can see there's nothing happened during the last 30 days, logically, because we had Christmas and I was traveling the first or the first months essentially to Asia to do trainings there live, and so that will populate when I do my next launch again. Starting here probably with the website, and I think that's the benefit of thinking about Kajabi, because Kajabi has a lot built into it, and that's the nice thing. And because it not only gives you to host your content in terms of a product, it also gives you the ability to publish, for example, a brief website, like for example, the website that you're going to see in a second here. And the benefit here is that this website is really easy to augment and change. So I just need to hover over things and you see edit. Yeah, I can change pictures and I can also change everything on this. So for example, these icons, the text logically, I have a section for testimonials, where I can put in some testimonials of clients of mine. So it's been really helpful, and a great tool to set up a website actually within minutes, and therefore I really, I really appreciate what Kajabi has put together. Pat, you are right. I'm actually a founding member in Kajabi. So when it was actually founded, way back, it must have been 2012 or so, or 11 even. That's when I actually started using Kajabi. It has an email marketing capability, and you see I have never used it. Why did I not use it? Well, I'm using Infusionsoft, and I like Infusionsoft a lot for its tagging capability. So I see when people read my email, when they respond to specific links, how many actually respond to specific links. All of this information that's vital for me, I get from Infusionsoft, and that's essentially why I use Infusionsoft. And Kajabi for me is primarily used as a tool to either publish my content and sell my content, but the email activity around it actually comes from Infusionsoft. It does give you the ability to set up pipelines, landing pages. It has a very strong landing page section. It used to have a different product that was only focused at landing pages, and now they integrated that into the new Kajabi platform. So that's really helpful and good. People is something that is very important for me, because you can see this is an actual client of mine, and I can see exactly when that client used that specific product that I have on this site. I can have various sites, so my online trainings are at a different site than this kind of on-site training, and I provided them with the on-site training with the content portal, and you're going to see a little bit of the information here. It enables me to set up assessments, so to ask the people that actually participated um, about the product itself, not only kind of the join date and when they were last active on it, but also to enable me to give me feedback on what they found well and what they didn't find well.
So Tom,
Yeah.
on the users here, can you see how far they've progressed through the training that you've set up for them?
Yes, that's absolutely possible.
Yeah.
So I could actually click on a user and see how many issues how many topics they actually have gone to. And if I click, for example, here, and you see, for example, total revenue 0. Yeah, it was a corporate client, so corporate paid me. I got a list of users, and I used them to actually move through. So I can see very much which products they actually have, and I can see exactly also how much they actually advance through the entire portal, which is important to see when you do an online training, which I have on a different site. So I have 3 sites that came with my founders package. And that gives me the ability to kind of separate a little bit what I do for on-site trainings and what I do on the other and for online trainings. Integrations is probably something that you want to look into. It integrates well with PayPal and Stripe. Stripe is what I use, particularly for my online trainings, because it is very versatile. It connects to a lot of things in Europe, but also the United States and Asia. So there are a lot of capabilities also to connect into China, which is a very helpful thing on Stripe to have. Logically, PayPal, if people prefer that, it's also well done. You can see here there are email integrations that one can actually click, and then we have logically analytics like Facebook Pixels and Google Analytics that we want to add to it. If you want further integrations, it provides integrations into Zapier, and it also provides integrations into ClickFunnels. This is essentially a little bit kind of the marketing side of Kajabi, and I think that helps.
So Tom, on the integrations piece, I'm wondering, did you get any information from them as to if they're likely to expand that list, or do they not really share that information?
I have, for example, put in a request to do an integration with Infusionsoft, which I like. I connect Infusionsoft through Zapier to Kajabi, but direct integration with Infusionsoft is logically much better. And
definitely better, yeah.
120,000 customers in Infusionsoft. If they all kind of would have access to Kajabi, that could be very helpful. But well, that's what it is at the current moment. Products, and let me show you a little bit about the products, and I think we can use this information here that I prepared for this client training. And my website is a little bit slow, but here we go. So here's, for example, the product outline. So it shows across the 2 days of on-site training that I did, what I did actually for them. And if we now, for example, click on the first one, it gives me now the ability to actually change and move things here. Let me go and show you how it looks in real
that'd be good.
life, because if we click on preview here, up here, it gives me now how it actually looks like from a client's perspective, and that's kind of what you want to see. So here, for example, post-merge integration for executives, this is what this specific customer wanted to use. And here's kind of all the day one information. So introduction to post-merge integration for executives, integration planning framework, integration governance, clean team. All of these things are separate elements in my first day of discussing the content with them. And then we have a second day, and so it continues. Now, let's just jump into one of them. Or, Pat, you have a question?
Yeah, is there some way to tick off modules when you've completed them? I'm guessing there is. In fact, I think I saw a progress bar at the top there. But
let's, for example, look at this one.
Oh, yes, markers complete, I see, yeah.
You have here markers complete, which is very nice. And you have, for example, a PowerPoint that you can download. If I go to the next, then it'll give me kind of what this is all about. This is about integration governance. Here I have actually put in a video and the presentation. So if you were to click on this video, and you can see also here, you can actually speed it up so that you just don't hear it and listen to it in my speed. You can really move fast through these things, and it gives me the ability down here to actually ask a couple of questions, and then people actually do also comment on things if they have a specific question.
What's the commenting system there? Is that an internal to Kajabi, or can you link, say, like Facebook comments or something up with that?
It's internal to Kajabi.
Yeah, okay.
That's how I have used it, and that's what actually has been beneficial to me, because I get the information from Kajabi that someone added a comment, and I can go right in there and then respond to it. It's all within this platform. Why do I like that specific feature and not to be linked in necessarily with Facebook? You know, this is a corporate client. They have merged with one of the large competitors. If I see a comment here, I can answer to that in its privacy.
Oh, yeah, it makes perfect sense. Yeah, absolutely.
That privacy would be adhered at all times if it would be linked into Facebook.
Yeah.
So that's why I actually like it.
Certainly, the perception of privacy is probably different as well. So that's true. How difficult was it to set all this up when you did it as a relative newcomer to the platform? How difficult would it be for somebody to come in and just start building out this type of site?
Frankly speaking, they have a terrific training, and if you just follow that training, it's really a question of minutes. If you have the content together, it's a question of minutes to put, for example, things like that together. Things like this one post, for example, together. And that's kind of where I really like it, because it's so simple, and it gives me the ability to upload a video. It gives me the ability to make changes to it. All of these things. For example, if I now go into the integration planning framework here, I probably should have actually taken this one. Let me see if I can actually take this one. So here, for example, this is the category detail. Where does it actually come in? Here I have published draft, logged trip, which means I can actually structure it in a way that it actually provides information only at a certain point in time. And that's the important thing for me to do. Now, if I click on the post here, it now opens essentially up what I can put in and where I can put things in. And for example, here it has a title, the category, the body it has, and comments, whether they're visible, hidden, or locked. And up here, I can actually put in videos or an assessment. So this is really where I feel I'm completely supported with everything that I need.
That looks really nice.
Yeah. I can also add downloads to it, which is very helpful. But most important is, here I can pick a file or an image that talks about what this section is all about. And I think this is important in online training, that you actually give the reader or the user the ability through a picture to see, okay, this is all what we're talking about now. Not just kind of headlines and words, but also through a picture. So when they actually skim through the content and they only have 10 or 20 minutes time at the current moment, they can actually go through, okay, this is what I need, this is what I need, this is what I need. The rest I'm going to look at later. And that's where it also comes handy when you actually see who has actually used what in this point of view. Progress is something that you can look into, and it shows you progress by member. That's what you actually talked about earlier.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, and this is what I want to see when I do these trainings. Now, understand, this is not an online training where it is really important. This is an offline training, and it's documentation that helps kind of through my presenting them, guiding them through 2 days of training. But still, it's important for me in the offline also to look at, okay, who has actually looked at that? Yeah, and how does this actually, how does this actually work for them? So this is really stuff that is helpful for me from a managing point of view. Sales. If I look at sales, here I can set up sales pages, I can set up offers, I can set up coupons, I can set up even affiliates. And logically on the payments side, I can ensure and see what payments need to be set up and what payments have come in if I look into my reports. So really helpful on that.
So you do your sales pages through Infusionsoft though, but do you take payment through Kajabi, or do you do that first somewhere else?
I can do both,
yeah,
because I have, and it depends on the campaign that I run. Yeah, I have Stripe connected to my Infusionsoft, but I logically have also Stripe, as you could see, connected to Kajabi.
Okay.
So depending on how I set the campaign up, I can actually then put in the link that they need to click to get to the product, to the offer, so to speak. And if they click that in my Infusionsoft, they land in Kajabi, then they can actually click on buying it also through Kajabi.
I know with some payment providers I've seen, you kind of have to set up the product twice, like once in Stripe and once in here. Is that how it works here, or is it pretty straightforward to set up a new product?
It's pretty straightforward to set up. So it's not really cumbersome and complicated, I must say. That's what I really like in Kajabi, because it has so many elements in. If you are not me that wants to use Infusionsoft, if you just want to have everything in one in one application.
Well, that was one of my questions really, which is if you're, say you're a relative newcomer to online training, and you're smart but not particularly technical and don't want to have a lot of technical plumbing to worry about, would you say Kajabi's great as an all-in-one, or would you really want to branch out and put in other things like Infusionsoft? So obviously it's important for you to really beef up the front end of your pipe with Infusionsoft. But as far as you know, could you really run your business just off Kajabi?
That's what I absolutely believe. Yes, absolutely, because it has all the features that I showed you earlier. Let's go quickly back here. It provides you a website capability. It provides you email marketing capability. It enables you to to define pipelines and landing pages. Yeah? So it gives you the ability to actually go out and use Kajabi in itself as a complete tool. Now, if
So-
you were not to want to use, for example, Kajabi for email campaigns, for a sequence, for example, for an email blast, for example, or so, as we have seen earlier, well, you could still integrate it with MailChimp or Aweber, because there's where existing integrations exist already. So if you have a MailChimp or an Aweber account, you could do that as well through those. But you can, as I said, you can structure all of this also in Kajabi.
Okay, great.
And that's what I really appreciate with the guys at Kajabi, that they took the effort not only to provide a content portal, they really thought a lot deeper and a lot farther, and they want to actually provide a tool that helps online marketers that start up to really be state of the art, and at the same time provide those that are longer in the business, provide them with an appearance, things that are so easy to use that you almost get addicted to it.
That's good to know. What's the support like on this, Tom? So if you have a problem, are they fairly responsive in terms of getting back to you?
Yeah, I mean, logically, we're in Europe, you're in the UK, I'm in Germany, and yeah, we have a time gap between. So if you want to actually chat with them and it's afternoon, perfect. You just get onto the chat. It seldomly takes me more than a minute or two until someone responds from Kajabi. It's really fast, yeah. And they have excellent people. They have really good people, and they kind of guide you either to answer your question immediately if they know that. They also provide you a link to training documents or training videos. So it's really a well thought through business operations.
That's good. So if you're happy with US office hours, then it works perfectly fine for that. Okay, that's good to know.
Yeah, but I mean, it also works for us. It's just a question of, well, I can't do it at 9 a.m. in the morning.
Yeah.
I can send them a, and that's probably what may be interesting to us Europeans. I can send them a question, and based on that question that I sent them, they have a bot in the background that looks at my request, and based on what they read out of that, they send me back links to specific documents.
Yep.
And that actually helps me to dig a little bit deeper into the direction that I want to go into.
And it sounds like the help center's fairly well built out with support documents, so that's probably answers a lot of questions. That's good. Anything, have we covered the ground, Tom, or anything else you think it's worth mentioning?
Yeah, just when you look at this one, for example, here, if I click down here at my account, here is my sites. I have 3 sites. I have the Kajabi University. Here's referrals. So if I want to actually, if someone wants to use Kajabi and they would happen to know me, I could get them a referral rate and a referral code. So they would actually get a much cheaper offer than it's actually the sticker price if they go to the Kajabi website. So I really urge your folks that will potentially see this video that we do to really find someone that actually can provide them with a referral code. Obviously, they can come to you, but yeah.
Or they can come to you. So again, that's a fair point. Actually, if anybody looking at this and going, oh, I've got some with an M&A integration problem. How would they get hold of you? Is Google Blackboard M&A? Is that the best way of doing it?
Yeah, it's blackboardma.com.
Yeah. Excellent. Good.
That's where, and it's my email, thomas.kessler@blackboardma.com. Blackboard, like the whiteboard, only black, like we know that from school. Yeah, that's how it.
Brilliant. Thank you very much.